Hello and welcome to Instrumental Fragrance, a channel dedicated to fragrances, music, and style. Today I will be going over L'Homme Ideal de Guerlain Paris, and this is a eau de parfum. So this is L'Homme Ideal eau de parfum, or L'Homme Ideal EDP is what it goes by. It is by the House of Guerlain, or Guerlain, depending on how you pronounce it. And the batch code for my bottle is 2H01. You got the name of the house, name of the fragrance on the front, name of the house on the back, as well as some ingredients and warnings and batch code down on the bottom there. Now, the perfumer for this fragrance is two different perfumers. It was Delphine Jelk and Terry Wasser at Guerlain. The fragrance, I will go over the notes, the longevity, the sillage, the overall compliment factor, and when to wear the fragrance. But first, if you could please like, share, and subscribe. It means a lot to that YouTube algorithm for me, as well as hit that bell icon so that way you're reminded anytime I post more fragrance content for you. Now, let's take a look at the bottle here. You got a beautiful silver label and a black cap. 100 mLs down there on the bottom, as well as my batch code, and you can see through to the back there. Nice square bottle. Now, they have changed the bottle design over and over and over again. It's something that the House of Guerlain is notorious for. If you can see, there's kind of a really cool beveled edges too to this one. I love this new style. And this is not one of their newest, but it's one of the newest styles. I'm not sure if this is even the most current style because they change them so often, but I think it might be. You do have the Guerlain emblem here, and the emblem inside the cap, as well as on the sprayer. It's beautiful to me. I love that. Now, top notes of this fragrance are almond, spices, lavender, bergamot, rosemary, and thyme. You have a mid of cherry, vanilla, incense, Bulgarian rose, and a base of leather, tonka bean, and sandalwood. So you have that Guerlain, I believe they call it the Guerlainade or something like that. I don't know what they really call it, but it's their DNA of their fragrance. It's that tonka bean, almond, cherry type thing that you get, that they're famous for, along with the Calabrian bergamot. I was watching an interview with Terry Wasser where he was talking about how they use the bergamot to lift the fragrances, and that was very cool how I learned about that, and that even in Shalimar, things like that, there's heavy doses of bergamot throughout, even though those are listed as ambery fragrances. Now, Guerlain is a classic house. It's been around for a long, long time, and there's debate on whether it's a niche or designer house. I'm just going to call it designer for now, but you know, starting out, it was very confusing when it comes to that. Overall, though, this fragrance is phenomenal. So I'm excited to get into the fragrance notes overall, show you the sprayer, and we'll share some sprays with you and kind of go over in depth more of what this smells like. Beautiful sprayer. Man, just fills the whole air. Now, L'Homme Ideal has a beautiful almond, beautiful cherry to it. And you instantly get transported to like you're having a cherry cola, but it's a sweet cherry cola. This is a great fragrance if you're trying to get compliments. It's a wonderful compliment getter. It's got wonderful sillage as you move throughout. I think this almost smells better the more you warm your body up and the more you move throughout as well. It's perfect in the winter, the fall, or the spring, the cooler weather. So if you got snow out, I know it's wonderful for that. One of my favorite memories with this fragrance, and with all fragrances, I like to make memories or kind of go over things that remind me of wearing them. And I wore this to a hockey game when we sat up against the glass. That was wonderful. It was a cool experience. A beautiful date night, and I will always remember wearing this fragrance to that. It does have a slightly gourmand edge. And if you're not familiar with tonka bean, then you're not going to be too familiar with kind of their style. You don't get too much incense, but you do get a little bit of leather in this. And I would say definitely try this before buying it. For things that I think this kind of smells like, maybe like a little bit like Ombre Nuit, a little bit like Raja, Creation E, but not really. It's kind of its own thing. But I'm just trying to give you a point of reference for things if you've tried that would kind of be similar. And I'm not sure if Mancero's Tonka Cola smells like this or not, but it could with the note breakdown. But it's definitely not going to be the Guerlain style. Guerlain uses their own notes. They source their own stuff. They go all out when it comes to sourcing ingredients and sourcing naturals for their fragrances. And it's one of the things I love about the house. Overall, I got great sillage for the first 6 hours, but it was moderate, you know? So it's more about when you're moving throughout, if you're walking, if you're coming in and wrapping your arms around somebody, giving them a hug, that's when you're gonna really allow this fragrance to shine, and some people are gonna pick up on it. Now, I got 10 hours of longevity, so this is a great fragrance if you're looking for bang for your buck for longevity. I know that this one is kind of hard to get along with other Guerlain fragrances. Your best bet is to always look on discounters for these. I know right now you can get it for $120 at discounters, and that's a great price for this fragrance. I think it's a beautiful fragrance and is wonderful overall. It sets you apart because not everybody in the USA is getting Guerlain fragrances, so you are going to smell different than other people. And this is perfect for those date nights, really a compliment beast. So if you're looking for something that's slightly gourmand, you want to smell like some sweet cherry cola, then look no further than L'Homme Ideal. This fragrance is a wonderful fragrance for date night. I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10 because of its longevity, its performance, its overall scent, and it's just a very pleasing scent overall. Let me know in the comments below if you've smelled L'Homme Ideal Eau de Parfum by Guerlain. This is one that I've had for quite a while now. One of the first fragrances that I added to the collection for winter for me. And I didn't make a huge dent in it because it is pretty strong. And I also built my collection quite quickly, quite a bit. So when you have a bunch of fragrances, to even have any dent in it shows a sign that it's a wonderful fragrance. And you know, there was a time where I wore this like 5 to 7 days in a row, which for me is extremely rare nowadays. I might wear something one day every month or every couple months. So it's definitely something that when you get into this, you start getting more fragrances, you'll know what I'm talking about. But this would be a wonderful signature scent for the winter or fall. If this was your only scent for the winter or fall or spring, you'd be pretty good. I would add a freshie or something like that as well, maybe a couple others, so that way you can diversify your scent. And if you're a collector, then you definitely want to add this and some of these other L'Homme Ideal fragrances. I know they're phenomenal overall. There will be more Guerlain reviewed on this channel as well. It is one of my favorite designer houses. So if you definitely call them a designer house, they'd definitely be one of my favorite. They do have a very unique style, and I do enjoy it quite a bit. Them, Dior, Chanel, Tom Ford, those are my designers that I really, really enjoy a lot of so far. I also like Maison Margiela, but there's a lot of different designer houses, and I've got stuff from all that I'm going to be reviewing throughout. So if you're a fan of this content, please do like and subscribe, and let me know what L'Homme Ideal smells like to you, and if you've smelt this before, if this is one of your favorite fragrances to wear or not. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for supporting Instrumental Fragrance. I hope you're having a wonderful day and a wonderful start to your new year. Peace.